Hi, my name is Patrick Sunloff and I do Veena restorations and modifications. More importantly, I make them sound better, amplified. Sometimes the tailpiece is a little difficult to work around. My favorite method would be drilling a hole here and putting the pickups internally. It's just that it's a more expensive procedure. It takes a little bit longer, and it's hard to convince people to go that route. But this method is easier. You don't have to drill anything, but there is some tricks and the different things you have to do because of the bridge. So on this one I put the K&K Pure Mini, and that's a guitar pickup that's glued underneath the bridge plate. But on these I will adhere them to the bottom of this side bridge, and then there's two on the treble and one on the bass. So there's one pickup on this side and one pickup on this side underneath this bridge. It picks up everything pretty equally because they're about the same size disc transducers. And this one I had also put banjo tuners in place of the friction wooden tuners. And with this method, you don't have to drill any extra holes. Sometimes people like to leave the old tuners in there for the look, but I think this is a really classy look to the Veena tuner layout. But from a stage, seeing those big wooden tuners is pretty iconic of this instrument. So I can see why people want to leave them in. Another reason why I like this type of installation is since we're not doing anything to the body of the instrument aside from adding just a little bit of wood in these holes so that these are snug and aren't moving, we can always take these out, re-ream the holes, and put the wooden tuners back in case somebody wants to go back that method. And that's one thing that I see on a lot of these Veenas is this area they'll put guitar tuners and it just kind of ruins the aesthetic. There's so much modification that needs to happen to the outside of the instrument that this method is less invasive, and in the end it's very similar to having the wooden pegs. They just hold better. And then up here I have banjo tuners straight shaft, and they function the same as like the wooden tuners. You can see that there's the other hole that would fit the friction pegs, and I've left that open just in case down the line they want to go back to the wooden tuning methods. But aside from the aesthetics, and I think that these tuners are really nice because you don't have to fumble with a lot of wood fluctuations like here in Chicago we have. But even with these fine tuners, you have micro tuners to help with the pitch. But let's plug her in. Again, this is the K&K Pure Mini pickup. but I've installed many different pickups. This is possibly my favorite one for just the purity of the sound. I've done humbuckers, single coils. It's just a matter of getting this bridge too. That's usually the difficulty. I can get these strings fine, they sound great, but balancing the two bridges is a difficult situation when you're combining two different types of pickups. So this one is one of my favorite methods, easy to install. Sometimes you need to do different things depending on the tailpiece. This one was an interesting, I haven't really seen a tailpiece like this. It's a flat sheet of brass rolled around another piece of brass. Doesn't seem as strong as the other cast tailpieces I've seen, but it looks good and it functions. This is one of the most well put together Veenas I've seen. No cracks, it's all coated, not a lot of wear. The frets and the wax look great. This is wax, by the way, so that's what makes these things so fragile. It's got a great sound.